I'm Squeaky. I figure I'll open up with the cat cam tonight. I got Guapo right here too for y'all. He's gonna be. It looks like Guapo is gonna be bugging me tonight. So there we go. Yeah, now Squeaky's getting jealous, so he's got to. Oh, look at. We got some rolling right off the bat here with Guapo going nuts. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a Dungeons and Dragons stream that happens to feature my cats. So yeah, that's what this is. But they were all lined up and ready to roll, I suppose. So I figure I should probably feature them. Look at him go. He just keeps rolling and rolling. Like, I could just sit here petting his belly for the next 20 minutes and he would probably not get tired of this. He would just keep on rolling around because he's a maniac. Yeah. All right. Well, enough of that. All right. So some of you guys were asking, the voice is doing better. It's still a little scratchy and stuff, and I will be coughing from time to time, but we will power through. So tonight on the plate, what we got going on is some question and answer, and I think I got moderators with a spreadsheet and stuff like that. We'll be doing question and answer for an hour, 2 hours, I don't know, something like that. We'll see how things go. And then when we get tired of that, we are going to move on to Fishy Business. It is a D&D adventure that we began creating, I think we've been working on it for 5 streams, I believe. I think this is the 6th stream that we're going to work on it. And we only have, I think, 2 rooms on the map that I created left to do. And so we were like this close to finishing up our adventure, and I'm going to be very, very happy. And remember that when we finish this adventure together, it's going to be available for everybody to download and use as they see fit in their games. It is a level 1 to 4 adventure. There's actually a link down in the description to the download right now. It's not quite done yet, obviously, but we'll get there hopefully tonight, and then you all can check that stuff out and have some fun with it. So that's that. And let's see what else I got going on here. Before we jump in, I do want to thank all of my wonderful patrons over on Patreon and my YouTube members as well. You guys might notice there's this join button right down below. That's for YouTube membership stuff. So you can get some really cool perks and stuff, help support the channel, all that kind of stuff. But thank you especially to Clammed Oyster, Mr. Lemon Pie, Bailbon, Kurt Y, Theta Tag, Son of Sofa Man, Mr. Pages, Yokai, and Joe M. Joe M is my most recent addition to the Ancient Dragon campaign that we are running via Patreon. It's one of the Patreon perks. There's actually a slot open for anybody who's interested in playing D&D with us. There's a link down below, I think, to my... I know that there is a link down below to my Patreon if you guys want to check that stuff out. But there's one slot open to play D&D with us. We're actually playing tomorrow night at... What time are we playing at? I should probably know this. I think we're playing at 6 p.m. I should know this stuff. But we play like every other Saturday, twice a month, and it's lots of fun. So anyway, Joe is my most recent addition to that game. So I'm looking forward to murdering his character horribly. Probably not. All right, sweet. Let's see. We got a bunch of people here. Lots of familiar faces. Natalie, hello. We have Tashio, what up, dude? Gilmore Farbottom, what up, mods? Penguin Butt, always good to see yourself here. I almost had to make a butt joke there. Damon Torres, Overclock 2020, what up, man? Catherine, the Fallen One. Not Catherine isn't the Fallen One, but there's another person named the Fallen One. Yes, the Fallen One. Dungeons and Cats. That's exactly how we do it around here. Razul, hello. Rebecca Warren, what up, Rebecca? I'm glad you like the cats. It's like Rebecca said it was her first time catching a stream, and she gets welcome to the stream with 2 of my cats. I have lots of cats. I have too many cats. Way too many cats. We take in strays. What can I say? Jacqueline, hello. Kyler Christian. This is the part of the stream where I read through everybody. Oh, the guy 85. What up, dude? Oh, by the way, this is a question and answer stream. The first part of this is Q&A, so drop your questions in the chat. The way we do it is we do a hashtag, all caps question. There's actually, if you look right there, it gives you instructions for how to do this. All right, these are important instructions. And please do not spam your question. unless I call for a spam. Sometimes I'm like, if I haven't answered your question, go ahead and post it again, okay? That was a little impromptu barbarian voice, I think. Carrot, what up, dude? Dungeon Coach, hello. How you doing, man? Fizzle Dimglue. All right, we got any questions? Oh, Demontory says, now let the cats fight to the death for the holy blessing of the tuna god. Oh man, they would love that. They love the tuna god, man. All right, where are my questions? Oh, here's a question. Fishing cats. How much is too many cats? You know, Kendrick, I have no idea. I just know that, like, it's like when you see hungry cats outside and they need food, how can you not help them? All right. Catherine Bishop says, my PCs were shrunk to 6 inches. 2.5 inches for the gnome. And now I need an outrageous idea to top that one. And he said, no, I don't have any ideas. Shrink them more. Or turn them into giants or something. I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, I think that if they're that small, you have now just, like, looped yourself into running a world where they're fighting, like, insects and bugs. And, like, you know, microscopic, like, microbes, like viruses and bacteria are like oozes to them now or something. You know, I mean, you just made a shrunken world. You know, maybe they fall into an ant hole. Maybe there's like an ant hole or something they fall into, and now they're stuck in these like ant hole warrens, you know, where there are a bunch of ants down there and beetles and stuff. You know, I mean, a puddle, like a puddle could be dangerous. You know, there could be like tadpoles swimming around in a little mud puddle that are like attacking them, like killer whales and stuff. I don't know. Sounds like you got yourself some DM creation to do now that you need to use like small creatures for everybody. That's all I know. Yes, it's an ants campaign. Exactly. Totally. Alex says that he changed his name. Awesome. Good job, buddy. Hale Jordan has a question. Hale's question is just a big heart. All right. Well, love you too. Here's the sick coughing. All right, Razul says, what level are your various campaigns currently at? I'm particularly interested in the Patreon one and the one you record on your other channel. Okay, so the Sword Coast Guard one is the one that I record on the DM Lair streams. For anybody who doesn't know, I have a second YouTube channel called the DM Lair Streams, where I post my Sword Coast Guard game videos, the actual footage of us playing the game. I don't know how interesting it is for people to watch it because it's just us playing the game. We're not putting on a show. It's not like Critical Role where we're putting on a show for people. We're literally just people who like D&D playing D&D together. So, but anyway, for anybody who wants to watch like an actual play type of thing, it's over on that channel. I'm sure there's a link down in the description to that channel. Anyway, question is, what level are we at? The Sword Coast Guard is now at level 15. And then the Patreon campaign, they're at level 3 now. Yeah, they're at level 3, I'm pretty sure. So, yes. And then my Youngling group, I think my Youngling group is maybe around level 8 or so. I think is that all the groups I run? Oh, my Wonder Panda campaign at work, I think they're level 6 or so, I think. Yeah. All right, that's my groups. Another question. All right, if there are no questions, then I'm just going to go to, oh, here we go. Gaming for You says, I'm a beginner at D&D and I did not understand what does initiative stand for. Initiative is simply your turn order in combat. So it's the order that the players and the monsters go in combat. When you roll initiative, the dungeon master will, whoever has the highest initiative, like say a 20 or something, you'll go first, and then so on and so forth, until everybody has gone in a round of combat. Hale Jordan, any tips for someone who has never made an adventure before? Yeah, the first tip that comes to my mind is look at modules. See how they do modules. Look at maps in modules. See how they describe rooms. Observe like how they place treasure and stuff. Observe like the challenge ratings of the monsters, the encounters that they put there. You'll notice that they do things like my cat is chewing cables. That cannot be good. Guapo, get out of there. Get out of there. He's under my computer chewing on stuff. I don't think that's good. If you look at modules, you'll notice that like sometimes they're going to put like a very easy encounter. Sometimes there are harder encounters. Okay, there's a variety of different quests and stuff. So I think reading modules and looking at modules is a really good way to learn kind of like that basic idea of creating adventures, because basically an adventure in a module is kind of like an adventure that you can run for your game and that you could create similar types of things for your game. I do have a video on my channel about creating adventures as well. It's an older video from like a year and a half ago or something. I think it's just called Adventure Creation or something like that. So you can look that up, and basically it gives a walkthrough of how I create my adventures. I've actually been thinking about doing a revised video on how I create my adventures, but that's like for a different day. So there's some tips, basically. Also another thing you can do as well is over on I have a website just called thedmlayer.com. If you go to thedmlayer.com, I have a bunch of free D&D adventures that you can download as well. Totally free. And in those adventures are basically my Dungeon Master notes. It has a map that I drew, and then it has my notes for running that adventure. And so you could download those and get a bunch of free examples of adventures I've created. And that just see, the reason I'm bringing up things that other people have created is I think that you can learn a lot from just reading modules and reading the adventures that other people have created, because that kind of gives you an idea of how to go about creating an adventure just by studying what other people have done, if that makes sense. All right. I need to get a link to that spreadsheet. Is that in the Discord, guys? Deputy Lounge. All right. Could one of you guys post a link to the spreadsheet? I know we use the exact same spreadsheet every single week, and I don't have the link every single week. So a fresh link is awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. And I gotta go, what's today's date? December 27th? Awesome. Oh, there's a lot of questions. Dang. Alright. Natalie Spain says, how do you recommend personifying a god or goddess? Well, I don't know. I mean, a god or goddess is already a person, so they don't need to be personified. Personification is a literary term usually when you take an object such as a cup like this and you personify it, and you give it human characteristics and stuff. But a god or goddess is kind of already a person in a way, you know what I mean? So you would just want to role play them. You'd want to think about what their motives are, what their goals and stuff are, and stuff like that. So I would look at like their description, see what their attitude is towards certain things, and I mean, I think you would role play them in a similar way that you would role play any NPC. Obviously, though, I think gods and goddesses, their motives, and I think they're going to be they might be a little bit foreign or alien. They might think a little bit differently than normal people. I don't know. I don't think I have any really great advice on that, to be honest with you. But I would just I would think normal NPC, but give them some weird quirks or something. Have them be aloof, or have them be maybe they don't really care about mortals a whole lot at all, or maybe everything they do is just to try to get people to worship them and hold them in reverence or something. You know what I mean? I would give them some weird quirks, make them feel a little bit different and like above everybody else, because I mean, if you're role playing a god or goddess, they probably have a little bit of an ego to deal with. I'm gonna guess. All right, Dungeon Coach says, what are your thoughts on diagonal movement math? I've always found it to be tedious. I talk about it in tomorrow's video, but I really want to... Yes, exactly. Tedious. So basically on a grid, when you're moving diagonally, the recommendation, I think, or the optional rule in the Dungeon Master Guide is that the first time you move diagonally, it counts as 1 square of movement, and the second time you move diagonally, it counts as 2 squares of movement. So first it's 5 feet, and then it's 10 feet, and that's a pain in the butt. In my games, what I do is you can move diagonally at the same cost of movement as you move forward or to the side. I count it as the exact same. Yes, it is not perfectly realistic because we're dealing with like hypotenuses of triangles and crap like that, but I came to play D&D, not to play math, and so I don't mess around with special, rates of movement for diagonal. It's just not worth my time, so I don't do that. It just costs the same as everything else. All right, so Logan Ball says, I just got Curse of Strahd as my first D&D campaign book. Any tips for starting to DM this campaign? Well, guess what, Logan? I just got Curse of Strahd as well about a week ago. And I have never played it. I've never dungeon mastered it. I've played a little bit of it. I don't think that I have any tips for that one in particular that I wouldn't have for any other module, but I'm pretty sure, from what I understand, Curse of Strahd is kind of like an open world module that players kind of have the liberty to kind of go anywhere and everywhere, which can, of course, I mean, we usually call this sort of gameplay sandbox, and everybody's like, oh, it's a sandbox, it's wonderful, whee! Okay, the sandboxes can provide tons of challenges to dungeon masters, okay? Because if the players go somewhere where you weren't expecting and you're not prepared for, what are you going to do? Either you're going to wing things and then stray probably way off from the module, or you're going to sit there and read it in front of them or something, trying to wing it while reading it and stuff, right? Which is not usually going to provide for the most satisfying gameplay. So either you prepare like everything in the book, which is not feasible in my opinion, or you're winging stuff, or it's just a mess. So, like, my recommendation is to control the information that you give your players. If they don't know about a place, it's hard for them to go to that place, right? So control the hooks that you give them, control the information that you give them to kind of, if you're ready for like 3 different places, let them know about those 3 places, and then they can choose which one to go to. But don't tell them about every possible destination. Don't give them a world map. Oh, don't give them a world map. The moment they have a world map, they're going to be like, I go there. And then you're like, crap, I don't know what to do. So control the information, and I think that's going to make running a sandbox like that a little bit easier for you. So I guess that's my tip. How important is background music? I don't think it's super important, except that it can really make things a lot better. Another fan, 21, asks. I always have background music going on in my games. Not necessarily, I just can't stand, like, the silence, you know? Like, I need some background music. I don't even pay attention to it. I just put, like, World of Warcraft or something on during my games so that there's something going on there. Now, I have been with a couple dungeon masters who will cater the music to, like, what's going on. When there's a battle scene, battle music. If there's some mysterious exploration stuff, then they have some mystery music. Now, that's awesome. If you want to do that sort of thing, that's like going the extra mile. I think that's really cool. I don't take the time to do that because I'm a little bit lazier than that. But, like, if you got the time to do that, I think that makes it even that much more cool, dude. So I think it'd be really cool. Yeah. So, Sanazushi says, I'm going to yell bad words to get this video demonetized. That's not cool. You're going to yell them? Oh, Dungeon Coach is a math teacher? Oh, that's cool. I used to teach math, like, years ago. What did I teach? I taught geometry, like the geometry with the proofs and theorems and postulates and stuff. Oh, my 10th graders did not like that class. And then for 11th grade, we were doing, like, it was like trigonometry, but it was like advanced trigonometry with all the proofs. Like, you know, you have like cosine, tangent, all this kind of stuff, but formulas and proofs and stuff where you have to like manipulate them all. And, well, that was complicated too. They didn't like that a whole lot either. So that was fun stuff. All right. Kevin I gotta turn my fan on. I'm getting hot. I don't know why I wore jogging pants. I don't know why I put jogging pants on. Like, I always get hot. I should be wearing shorts. That's kind of stupid of me. How do you get a player who loves to roleplay but hates making characters and then refuses to take part in combat to participate more? What? Kevin Kildoyle says he loves to roleplay, okay, but he hates making characters. Okay. And then refuses to take part in combat to say more. Well, I don't know. What do you mean he refuses to? I mean, combat is role-playing. Combat is like 90% of your character sheet. Like, combat is like 90% of, like, where's this book? This book is like 90% about rules about combat. This book is 100% rules about combat. Well, not quite 100. Okay, like, that's the game, dude. Like, that's D&D. Like, unless anybody noticed, you know, D&D is like a miniature war game, kind of. You know, you're role-playing like a tactical squad of warriors. Okay, you're not role-playing an army, you're role-playing a fighter or a wizard or a barbarian. And, like, combat's your thing. Murdering things is kind of what you do. So, like, if he doesn't want to take part in combat, then I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, he doesn't want to play most of the game. I think he needs to find a different game. Like, if Dungeons and Dragons might not be the best fit for him. Like, there are other games that don't... If combat is not his thing, if he doesn't like combat, then he might want to try something different. He might enjoy something like Call of Cthulhu. Call of Cthulhu is, like, combat averse, in my experience. Like, the moment people start fighting, you die pretty quick. So you want to avoid combat. So, I mean, if he doesn't like combat, and when you say role play, I'm going to guess you mean, like, social interaction and exploration and stuff. If that's what he likes more, then he's probably in the wrong game system. He should probably go find a group that... My camera's out of focus. He should probably go find a game that, emphasizes the game elements that he enjoys. I think that's that's the real solution, honestly. If I had a player who, like, it sounds like is kind of like that, I'm not gonna, like, so, like, if I have, like, most of my players are like D&D as D&D is, and I like D&D as D&D is, I'm not gonna, like, change the game because of one player who, like, wants basically to play a different game. That's not fair to anybody else at the table. I would recommend he find a game that suits his interests. So, I don't know. That's my initial thought on that. But Luke's a jerk. I don't know, but the dude doesn't sound like he wants to play D&D, so maybe he should find a game that is not D&D. Diamantorius says, in the last stream, did you reveal your true identity as a secret smurf by accident? A secret smurf spy. I came in blue in some points. Yeah, dude, so, like, what happens is, I think when I reset... When things happen to my cameras, sometimes they go blue. Like, the color balance is always screwy on my cameras. Like, I have to manually adjust my color balance. And, oh, no, what happens, too, is, like, right now, my color balance is manually set. If I leave my color balance in auto, like, it changes blue sometimes and then turns back to, like, the red into the spectrum. But today I have it in, like, manual color balance, so hopefully it's better than before. Yeah, Call of Cthulhu, dude. Cthulhu. Dude, your name is Cthulhu. He's like, I've been reading the Call of Cthulhu rulebook. I played Call of Cthulhu a few times at conventions, and I really like it. It's very fun. You just don't want to get into combat. You want to avoid combat. It's basically how it goes, but it's a super fun game. I love it, and I love the rules. There are a lot of Call of Cthulhu rules that I really enjoy. I love the idea of rolling percentile dice underneath your number. So, like, if I have an intelligence ability and my intelligence ability is like a 65, I have to roll percentage dice underneath that number to be a success. And then there's different levels of success. There's, like, a critical success, like you barely succeeded or you failed and stuff. And I think there are, like, critical failures and stuff too, possibly. I forget all the details. But I really like the rule system. I think it's really cool. I don't know which version of Call of Cthulhu it is. I think there was a newer one that came out. I don't think it's the newest one. I think it might be something else. But anyway, let's keep moving here. Let's keep going. What is your favorite memory of DMing? Oh, I don't know, dude. Chadwick, like, I remember years ago I would play D&D for like 8 hours straight, and then I would get home and I would dream the rest of the night, like, that game, like everything else that happened. Like, the game would keep on going in my dreams, and I'd wake up and I'd be having, like, these memories of these dreams. Like, the adventure kept on going. That was crazy. I think that's really cool. That doesn't happen anymore. Now, I don't know why not, but it used to be, like, a couple years ago, that's what would happen. But now I don't dream the adventure anymore when I get home after playing. I don't know. So I guess I'm losing it. I'm losing my touch. Bo Foster, hey, what up, dude? Welcome. He says he's newer to D&D. Cool. I love new people. Like, seriously. Like, most of the videos that I create are intended for, like, newer dungeon masters. Folks who are just learning things. Yeah, Philip Ketchup. What's up, Ketchup? Hey, Ketchup, what up, dude? Luke's too hot for the stream. Yeah. Joan Dudley, hello. Yeah, I had a good holiday. What's today, Friday? Yeah, I go back to work on Monday. Deep Fried Butter Boy, what up, dude? Hello. I'm reading people now. Yes, Sandbox is hard for DMs. I was just reading some old comments. I needed to take a break from answering questions. All right, Josh King says, I just got starter stuff. What should I do? For reference, I have the player handbook, the starter set, essential kit, and Storm King's Thunder. Well, I mean, the first thing you should do is find some players, dude. Find some players to run the game for. I would use... so you have both the starter set and the essential kit. Both of those have starter dungeons in them. I would use one of those starter dungeons, starter adventures. They usually run from like level 1 to 4 or something like that. I would find about 4 different friends and play D&D with them. I would just start. Just start. That's what I would do if I just got that stuff. And you're probably going to have no idea what you're doing. You're going to feel like you're lost. And you're going to be like, this is crazy. What the heck's going on? And that's normal. Don't worry about it, okay? You just keep doing it. You keep getting a feel for it, okay? Watch. There are tons of different, like, YouTube channels out there with information and stuff like that. You know, watch bunches of junk out there. My channel, other people's channel, whatever. You know, learn. There are actual play channels out there that will actually show you people playing the game. Those are really cool. Critical Role is... It's an example of it, but that's like a show. If you actually wanted to watch real people playing D&D, like the way that most people play D&D, then you're probably going to want like an actual play thing. I know the Dungeon Dudes have, over on the Dungeon Dudes YouTube channel, they post their actual play from one of their campaigns. You can watch that stuff on theirs. I have a second channel, the DM Lair streams. You can watch some of the games that I play over there. The Dungeon Dudes are much better produced than mine, though, I'll tell you that. Mine are basically like, I put a camera in the corner. The audio is pretty good because I got like a boom mic and stuff, but like camera in the corner is kind of like a whatever. It's not that well produced, but anyway. Watching other people play D&D will give you a feel for things as well, but you just gotta play it, dude, and you'll get better at it. And have fun, you know? All right. Let's see. Oh, Simon Cancelera, what up? That's Hold on a second. Green. Bam. Simon Cancelera says, "Is it better to read descriptions or tell it straight?" Okay, so I think what Simon's talking about is like, hold on a second. So like, if you pick up, this is a module called Ghosts of Saltmarsh, and if you pick this up and you open it up, what you're going to notice is that it has in here read aloud text. Like these blocks right here are read aloud text. They are meant to be like read aloud or paraphrased to your players. So his question is, I think, you know, is it better to just like read it from the book or to just look at your players and tell them the description? I've done it both ways. Okay. In my personal experience, I tend... Sometimes I use read aloud text if I have it available to me. Sometimes I don't use read aloud text. My preference is not to use read aloud text. I prefer to just kind of have an idea of what's in the room, and then I describe it naturally to my players while I'm looking at them and while I'm maybe referencing the map and pointing at things. That's my preference. I just like it better that way. I like making eye contact with everybody. Read aloud text, you know, here's the thing too. Sometimes read aloud text has too much crap in there. Okay, you want about 2, maybe 3 sentences of description about a room. More than that, and your players are not going to remember half of what you said. It's much, instead of like describing the dresser and describing the desk and all of the papers that are on it, describing that like refuse in the corner and how it has some bones in it and some other stuff in it, instead of giving a detailed description of a room right off the bat, you're much better off saying it's a room, there's a desk with some stuff on it, there's a dresser, and there's some refuse over in the corner. That's it, you're done. And then your players, the idea here is you want to have basic information with details available upon request. And then your players will be like, oh, wait, there's a desk? I go over to the desk and I start rummaging around. What do I find? Then you give more information. I go over to the refuse pile and I start poking around in it. What do I find? Then you give more information. So I like to keep read aloud. My description of rooms is short. and very to the point. And then as players poke around in the room and explore more, I give them more information. And I think that is much more interesting for gameplay and for the players. And it provides the opportunity for them to discover things and to overlook things and to miss things, which is also really cool. Wow, I can hear people walking upstairs. It's like Godzilla. Somebody's running. Philip Ketchup says, I just started painting minis. Any tips for making straight lines on miniatures? Just hold the brush and paint as straight as you can. Or use a ruler or something? I don't know. I have never tried to paint a straight line on a miniature, so I don't know. I wouldn't worry about it a whole lot, but I don't know what your specific use case is. There is a YouTube channel called Miniac that is really good, in my opinion. So I don't know if he has a video on painting straight lines, but I am not a miniature professional painter by any stretch of the imagination, so I don't know. I paint minis, but like I'm not one to give miniature painting advice. What other questions we have here? Casper XP says, I have lots of questions coming in. Wow, I'm never going to get through all of these because like I take way too long to answer questions. Casper says, I have a hard time filling up time outside combat. Do you have any tips? I don't know, man. Like, I've never had that problem. So are your players just rushing from combat to combat? Or like they just go from, is there a combat encounter in every single room, every single place in the dungeon, and that's all they do is go into combat? I mean, so when I'm designing a dungeon, I don't just place combats in the dungeon. I don't just place like fights in the dungeon. There are empty rooms. There are some rooms that are just meant for exploration. There's a bedroom that has like chests in it and dressers, and there's a secret door, and you go down the secret door, and then there might be a trap that they have to overcome. There might be some kobold cooks that are not meant to be killed, that you can talk to them and stuff. There might be some halfling slaves that they have captured that you'll release and then try to take outside the dungeon, lead them to safety or something. So like when I design a dungeon, I'm intentionally placing things in the dungeon that are there for people to interact with that don't involve combat. And so I think that thinking along those lines and trying to figure out what things you can place in a dungeon that don't involve combat are one thing to do. You know, if every single room just has a fight in it, then yeah, the people are just going to fight. The other thing too is, you know, not every encounter has to be a fight. I very rarely have my monsters attack my players right off the bat. Usually, like if they walk into a room and there are some goblins in there, the goblins don't just turn around, draw their swords, and rush to attack. I don't do that. The goblins might turn around, see them, and be like, "What are you doing here?" You know, and challenge them or something. Then my players have an opportunity to have a social interaction. They have an opportunity to talk to the creatures, you know, and maybe they just have a conversation and they make up a lie and they get by or something. Or maybe they deceive them, or maybe they recruit the goblins to work for them. I don't know. But when you don't have your monsters attack right off the bat, it opens up opportunities for your players to do something besides just kill stuff. So that's something to think about as well. So I hope that helps. Hal Jordan says, how do I enjoy social interaction more and not just draw swords and stab to fix a problem? I don't know how I can make you enjoy it more. I mean, if you're asking how to do it more and not just draw straight. Hey, Jason, thanks for subscribing, man. Appreciate that. I don't know how to make you enjoy it more. But if you want to think about creative ways to solve problems that doesn't just involve drawing swords and stabbing, I don't know. You just got to use your creativity and your imagination. I'm not sure. I don't think I have a satisfying answer to that question. Deep Fried Butter Boy says, do you prefer combat or roleplay more? I love both, dude. I love both. Like, I've gone through entire game sessions as a player where there was very little combat. And I can tell you that when there's not combat, I feel kind of unfulfilled, you know? So I definitely need there to be combat. Otherwise, I'm kind of like, you know. I like social interactions. I like role playing my character. I like talking in voices and doing that sort of stuff. But combat is a necessary thing for me in a game. In D&D, okay. If I'm playing Call of Cthulhu, it's a different story because that's a different game, right? But in D&D, I need combat. Now that said, I have played in some D&D games where almost everything was combat. Like the whole 4 hours that we play is like straight combat. And you know what? I liked it. I was fine with that. So I didn't have any problem with just fighting things the whole time. So I think that based upon that information that I just kind of talked through, I would say that I probably like combat more. Because I can, I think so. You're always going to have a little bit of like time to do talky stuff in between fights. You know, it always happens. Even if it's just talking with the other players and stuff, you know. So I think that's my answer. I'll go with that. My voice is starting to like kind of die a little bit here. So I have to like talk a little slower, take more pauses and stuff, you know. Otherwise, like, I'm going to crash before we even get started here. It's weird. My ears are, like, popping, too. Like, my throat's getting better, but, like, my ears are like, doing weird stuff now. Let's see. I'm trying to find... All right. Eric Clark says, how do you handle conversation within initiative or combat? Okay. All right, buddy. Well, the way I handle that... There are two things I do to handle conversation within initiative or combat. Basically, a player on his turn can say one or two sentences, okay? You know, that's about it. You know, about 10 words or something. You know, hey guys, he's casting a spell, get down. Something short. That's allowed. That's not a problem. If they want to have, like, a longer conversation than that during a round, then they can't have an extended conversation unless they want to use their action to do so. Because a round is like 6 seconds long. So you got to be able to spit it out within 6 seconds if you're going to use it, if you're going to talk as part of your turn in combat. Now, that said, I do have a mechanic where between each round of combat, I give my players 1 minute to discuss tactics among themselves. Like, we do round 1, everybody takes their turns, and then they get a minute to discuss tactics. We do round 2, everybody takes their turns, and then they get a minute to discuss tactics. And I give them this 1 minute break to discuss tactics, mostly because it actually makes the battle go a whole lot faster, because I don't allow them to discuss tactics in the middle of a round, like in between each other's turns. They get their time to discuss tactics at the beginning of a round before it starts, but then during the round, there's no tactics discussions. And so that basically makes the fight go faster. The other reason I do that too is it just, the players want to have a tactical fight. They want to, have a tactical battle and stuff like that. And that's part of the fun for them. And so I don't want to take that from them totally, you know what I mean? Because then that would be no fun. So I give them that 1 minute to discuss tactics. And honestly, I don't think it's unrealistic, because if you look at like a squad of soldiers, like a bunch of like Navy SEALs that are going in on a mission, they're elite soldiers, they are super familiar with all of their battle tactics, all of their strategies, everything that they do when they're on a mission. And they just execute it during their actual mission, okay, because of their training. In Dungeons & Dragons, the players don't have hours and hours of downtime in between their adventures to practice, discuss tactics and stuff like this. Okay. Instead, during actual gameplay, they just kind of got to do it, and they usually end up talking tactics during combat. And so the 1 minute between each round to talk tactics is really it emulates the fact that their team is talking tactics when they were on the campfire and stuff like that. So that's how I handle conversation within the initiative round order stuff. What edition did I start with? I started with 2nd edition in high school. Imagine that. How many hippos dressed as a French soldier do you need to make believe a town you have a GIF army on your side? I mean, hippos are like the most temperamental, aggressive creatures in the world. So like they would probably just be attacking people and killing people. So I don't think that you would have any chance at all to convince people it's an army of GIFs. Because GIFs are like super disciplined mercenary soldiers. So I don't think that's going to happen. Otherwise, just roll a d20 if you want a non-realistic answer. Hale Jordan says, how do I not get bored and just run into a cave while my party takes 20 minutes for a plan? You know what? Like seriously? Seriously? As a dungeon master, Hale, I appreciate the players who get sick of everybody else talking too much and just make something happen. Like, there is a time and a place for players who just make crap happen. Like, when the rest of the party wants to just sit around and make plans all freaking day long, and they could make a plan for like 3 hours, taking up most of the game session if you let them. So the player who's like, this is crap, I draw my sword and break the door down, I appreciate that. I think that's okay. You know, I think there's enough time to talk and make a plan, but at some point you just got to do something. You know, otherwise like everybody's just getting bored out of their mind. So I don't think I have anything to discourage you. If people are taking way too long to plan, then make stuff happen. I think I support that. It's probably not the answer you were expecting, but from a DM's point of view, there gets a point where it's like people talk too much, and you just need to do something. Just do something, okay? James Darr says, I have an idea that my players go to a gnome village, and the babies are getting stolen, and they find out that it's gnolls and go to a gnoll camp. But I want it to go way longer. How? I don't know, dude. You just keep making stuff up, man. That's one adventure. Dude, that's just one adventure. Okay? And they take care of the gnolls. Great. Well, then you got to come up with another adventure. That's Dungeons and Dragons. Open up the monster manual. Find another monster, you know, to introduce into their lives, and give that monster some motivations. What are they doing in the game world, and what conflict does that create? That's being a DM, just coming up with adventure ideas and then rolling with it, you know. And if you struggle with that sort of thing, there's nothing wrong with just grabbing a module and running a module. I mean, Wizards of the Coast is making crap tons of money making these modules. There's a reason they make these modules. People run them, you know, and it takes a lot of your work away from you. So if you don't want to come up with ideas, and if that's challenging for you, then just pick up a module and run a module. There's nothing wrong with that. They cost like $30 on Amazon, and you have like enough information in there to like play for probably 2 years or something with your gaming group. You know what I'm saying? There's also you can go on like Facebook, Reddit, I think Instagram, and there are Instagram accounts that just have D&D adventure ideas. You can go online and get adventure ideas for your game as well. You know what I mean? So just get more adventure ideas too. It looks like people are answering questions in the comments. They're like, Luke takes too long to answer questions. He's never going to get to your question. Let's just answer this for you. Hale Jordan says her party hates her. I mean, is Hale a girl's name? Is Hale a guy's name? I don't know. Did I just mispronoun you? Sorry. I don't know. I'm not up to speed with new people names. Like new people names. I'm sick. That's my excuse. I'm sick. That your party hates you when you like just charge in. Well, you know what? I would counter with, hey guys, I hate you when you just want to talk for an hour making a plan. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would counter with. I'd be like, you guys, I'm giving you time to make a plan, but you won't stop talking. So like, I'm gonna play this game. You know, I watched the finale of an actual play game session of a pretty famous person's like actual play thing. And like, I'm not going to say who it is. That's not cool. But like, like their finale, their final finale, like of their campaign was basically three hours. 3 hours of the players talking about what they were going to do. Like, what's our plan? What are we going to do? That was it. That was like 3 hours of discussing a plan. And I'm like, this sucks. Like, this is not fun. Like, sure, it's not fun for me to watch it because you guys are just all talking about a plan. But like, if I were a player, if I were the dungeon master and the players wanted to like discuss their plan for 3 hours, I'm like, I'll tell you what, guys. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna pack up and go home. You guys all talk about this offline. When you know what you're gonna do, you let me know, and I'll set up a game session, and I'll come back in, and we'll actually play the game. All right. But if you all just want to talk about a plan for 3 hours, like that's lame and that's boring. And like you don't need the dungeon master there for that. So like, you can't just talk plan the whole time, man. That's so not fun. That's so not fun. I think that dungeon master, the one I was referring to, people kind of like, I think people were saying stuff like it was kind of boring or dumb or something, and that they were just talking for 3 hours. And his response was, "That's part of the game." And I'm just like, dude, you're playing a different game than I am. that's not part of that much talking. I don't think so. All right, next question. My players don't plan anything ever. Yeah, my Sword Coast Guard group, sometimes they don't plan stuff either, and it gets them in trouble. They're starting to plan a lot more now. They're starting to plan a lot more. Piss Forever, great name, says, did you ever include the Tarrasque in any of your campaigns? Not yet. I've never used the Tarrasque before. If not, will you ever include it in your future campaigns? Yes, probably. I mean, I got what? How many more years of my life am I going to play D&D? Eventually, it's probably going to happen. Eventually, it'll probably happen. Oh. What is the most dumb and ridiculous name one of your players has ever named his character? I have no idea. I'm sure there were some. Grizzed. Somebody named his player Grizzed. It's like, dude, come on. Hi, Joe. My voice is not doing too well right now. I'm still sweating. I don't know why I wore jogging pants. How stupid am I? Like, okay, Philip Ketchup has question. Any advice for publishing or making your own modules? I mean, you could just start doing it on DriveThruRPG. You need to make a PDF. That's it. All you need to do is make a PDF, and you can throw it up on DriveThruRPG, and you can sell it, dude. I mean, what is my advice for that? Advice that can be, like, done in, like, a few minutes and not take, like, forever. So the first advice I can give you is to just start doing it, because you get better by doing things. That's the only way you're going to get better at it. The first thing you publish is probably not going to be that good. You just keep iterating, you keep learning things, you keep getting better. That's the way to do it. I would start smaller rather than starting big. I wouldn't start with publishing your own module, okay? So, like, I'm planning on doing a Kickstarter at some point here, early next year, and it's going to be a module, like an entire adventure module, like entire, take you from levels 1 to something or other, I don't know. But I'm planning on doing a module because I have been publishing smaller adventures, and I've been getting the hang of that. So I started out small, and now that I have enough experience doing that, I'm like, oh, I think I could probably, publish an entire module, you know what I mean? And so start out small. I mean, look at the way, if you're publishing modules, look at the way they lay things out in these modules. Look at how they organize things, That said, also pay attention to the things that when you read professionally published modules that you don't like. Like, I can tell you right off the bat, like, I looked at the starter town, Salt Marsh, in this module, and it is horrible to use. Like, thanks, Mason, for subscribing. Appreciate that. Like, it has information about the town in it and stuff, but, like, it's not like, the organization and how they designed it and how it's laid out doesn't make it easy for you to use. Like, I want, like, a table about all of the different major buildings in the town, their names, what number they are on the map, the main NPC that I can find there, and then some high-level notes, like a table. Just give me a table of that. So I know, is there weaponsmith? Yep, there's weaponsmith right there. Instead, I have to wade through tons of different paragraphs of text about the town until I finally find, oh, here's the weaponsmith. It's just not made that so yeah, I'm criticizing it a little bit, but the point is like also pay attention to the things that you notice that are done poorly so that when you actually do it, you can make it better, So, yeah, there is some thoughts. There's some thoughts. Whoa, somebody has a session with over 10 players? Woo! Jacob Hart. Okay, Jacob Hart says, question. What advice do you have for someone who is going to have a 10-player session tomorrow? Okay. Got you, man. I got you. Here's what you do. You take 5 of those players and you put them over here in one group, and you take the other 5 players and you put them in a second group. Okay? And then you run 2 groups of D&D. One with 5 players and one with 5 players. So you have 2 groups, each with 5 players. Your life will be much, much better. Trust me. Okay? Here's the other thing that's going to happen. If you run, I guarantee you, the other thing you could do, if you don't want to do that, the other thing you could do is just run that group with 10 players. And what's going to happen is it's going to, if you've never done that before, especially if you're a new DM, it's probably going to be kind of rough, And if you have, especially if you have new players, people who never played before, you're almost surely going to have people that don't come back. So your 10 players turns into 8, turns into 6, and you eventually have an actual group that's of a size you can manage. Okay, so it's possible that there'll be some natural attrition that occurs. But the best piece of advice I can tell you is split into 2 groups, hands down. If they're all new players and they've never played before, there's a good chance some of them won't like it though, and they won't come back. In which case your group might get smaller. But if it doesn't get smaller, then definitely split it up. That's the best advice I can give you, man. I don't think he's like, Luke, that didn't help me. Sorry, buddy. That's the honest advice right there, man. Otherwise, you just run that group and do your best and learn as you go. Okay, Mike G says, how do you handle travel? If I plan to have the party go from A to B, a long distance, how many encounters is enough en route? How do you make them relevant, maybe? I don't think there's any need to make random encounters as they travel relevant. There's no, they don't have to have anything to do with their current quest or whatever. In my opinion, the cool part about random encounters as you travel is that it gives you, the Dungeon Master, the opportunity to use monsters from this book that you might not otherwise use because they're not part of like the module you're running, or they're not part of your adventures. You can just pick a random cool monster. Random. I keep saying random because most of the time when I have random encounters, they're not random at all. They're encounters that I planned for the journey, to happen over the journey, and we just call it a random encounter. My players are rolling for random encounters and all this kind of stuff, and then, oh, look there's a random encounter. I planned it all along. It was the encounter I planned for that journey because I wanted to use some cool monster from here. Okay, so the first part of your question is, how many encounters is enough? 1. Generally speaking, it doesn't matter the distance my players are traveling. I usually will have there be a maximum of 1 random encounter because that's usually enough. I mean, the main meat of the game and the adventure happens at the adventurer's site, so let's get people there as quickly as possible so we can get to the meat of the game. 1 random encounter is enough, I feel, and then we move on. What was I going to say? Did I have another thought? I thought I had something else I was going to say, and then it just went, whoo! It left me. Yeah, it might come back to me. I'm just like, probably just move on. Move on at this point. I'm out of coffee. It's like literally, this is the second time now that I've tried to drink and it's been empty. It's like each time I'm just kind of like thinking that maybe I'll get some more. I got my cat is just rubbing against my leg down here. Ooh, the Magnificent Sands. What up, dude? How do you recommend a newer dungeon master to use pre-made modules, or do you think it's okay to start with a campaign they made themselves? Dude, like, honestly, I if I don't know the person, I would say run a module. And the reason I would say run a module is, like, if you're a new DM and you've never run the game before and you might not have even played a whole lot before, you might have no idea where you're starting. And the adventures that you create might not be that good. And then, you know what I mean? And it might be frustrating and hard for you. I don't know. I would say, with no other information at hand, I would say run a module. However, I think a lot of the reason that dungeon masters get into playing the game and being a dungeon master is they love creating stuff, whether they're creating their game world or whether they're creating their own adventures. So I think being creative and creating your own stuff is kind of at the heart of being a dungeon master. And so I say that knowing full well that most new DMs want to create their own stuff. And if that's your desire, then I would say do it if that's what you want to do. Maybe instead of running a module, you just get a module and you read it to kind of give you an idea of how somebody else puts together an adventure. And that'll help you learn how to put together your own adventures. So I think that's what I would probably say. Can we see your cat? All right, Josh. I'll see if I can get the cat over here for you, buddy. Joey DK, thank you for subscribing. All right, hold on. Let's see if we can get the cat. Guapo! Come here, Guapo. Guapo! Here's my cat. He's going to roll for you. He's rolling. He's rolling. Guapo. Guapo. There you go. There you go. Guapo's rolling a little bit for you. He's doing some rolling. He'll just keep going. He's like rolling. Guapo! Guapo! All right, there you go. Here you go, Josh. Oh, man. All right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to fill this up. My coffee pot's right there. It'll take like 2 seconds. I'll give you a picture of the cat while I do it. Guapo. Oh, he left. Guapo. Oh, he's like following me back. Here he comes. Here he comes. All right. More questions. Greyfall says, how would you recommend getting PCs really invested into an NPC so that they cry when I kill the NPC? You, sir, are devious. That's great. Wiggles! Hello, Wiggles. What's going on, man? Good to see you, buddy. Generous Heels in the house. Sweet. All right, so to answer your question, Greyfall, I have no idea why players like certain NPCs. I have no stinking idea. I think being cute, being small, having funny voices are all things that tend to endear players to NPCs. But I don't think that there is one golden bullet, silver bullet. Temporal Being, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. Dude, what I would recommend doing, honestly, is just wait until there's if you want to break your players' hearts and kill an NPC that they really love, then the way to do that, is to just put NPCs out in the world and wait for them to become attached to one. Just wait for them to become attached to one. And then that's the NPC that you break their hearts with. Okay? Because I don't know that there is a way to get your players to necessarily like an NPC. You just got to wait until it happens organically, and then that's the one that you use. So that would be my recommendation, man. Levi Coultier says, when you are playing a sandbox style campaign with no real big bad, how do you get your players to pick a path to drive down? I put in plot hooks, but my player get all ADD on me. Well, what do they do? Then what do they do, man? Like, if they're not going after your plot hooks, what are they doing? You know, just wandering off in a random direction, just doing random stuff. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. Like, if they're not going after your plot hooks, what the heck are they doing? So, like, I don't know. If they're just like, oh, let's go find a cave. Let's go run down a cave. I don't know. Then just take one of your adventures and move it to there or something. I'm not sure. It's hard for me, honestly, it's hard for me to answer these questions about players not following plot hooks and stuff, because, like, my players have always followed my plot hooks. Like, I've never had any trouble with them not following plot hooks. So, like, I don't know, man. Like, let there be nothing else to do. Like, if it's a sandbox and you've given them, like, 3 different things they could do and they all want to go do something else, like, I don't know. I probably what I would do, honestly, like, if this were Luke and this were happening to me, I would probably just talk to my players. I would be like, hey guys, check this out. This is a sandbox, okay? I'm giving you guys options. I'm giving you like 3 different things you could do. Things that I've prepared to run that might be kind of fun if you go and do them. And you guys are consistently going and doing something else, okay? I need you guys to work with me here. You know, you got to meet me halfway. Okay, I'm trying to run an awesome D&D game for you. I'm preparing adventures for you to do. I'm giving you options. I'm trying to run a sandbox. But you guys are like, way off there doing whatever. Okay, so I need you guys to help me here. Okay, if I give you options, please just pick one for my own sanity. Okay, I would start by talking to your players. Maybe it's possible that there's not like an understanding of what the expectations are. Maybe the expectations are not clear and they don't understand that, like, hello, we're supposed to pick one of these and do it. Maybe when you said sandbox, they understood, oh, he's going to give us options, but we could also just do whatever. And if you don't clarify the expectations, maybe they just don't understand. I would talk to them. That's what I would do. I would start there if it were me. All right, next question. It's like, I could answer every question with talk to your players. And that would probably be an accurate answer. All right, Sean Suarez says, you've inspired me so much as a new Dungeon Master. Thanks, dude. I'm happy to help you. Sometimes I'm too nice to my players, I've noticed. So where's the line? Or do I make it more challenging or what? Okay, so dude, it's all about balance, okay? Like, you want there to be, like, easy stuff in the game, because then it makes players kind of feel like, oh, we just kicked the crap out of those goblins. That wasn't a problem. They feel heroic, okay? You also want there to be medium challenges and hard challenges. You also, because that's good too, but, like, you want there to be occasionally a really hard fight, a really hard battle where they think they're going to die. You know, maybe someone does die, but they pull through and they actually win. Because I'll tell you what, in my experience as a Dungeon Master with my players, those are the battles that afterwards they really enjoyed. And then they'll be like, that was an awesome session. That was an awesome battle. The battle that they were like almost going to lose, but then somehow they miraculously win. Those are the battles that they're like, that was awesome. That was great. Now, here's the thing, though. You can't always have those, okay? Because, like, what do you want to call it? Absence makes the heart fonder, I think is a saying, okay? If all of your battles are super hard, it's going to get old, okay? Every so often, you want that really tough one that challenges them. And then they're like, And then when they win, they're like, oh, that was awesome. And then you have a bunch that are just kind of like easy or medium, but not that bad. So I think the goal is balance, right? Balance and variety. Jacob Nottage says, have you thought about using a no initiative system? No. I actually have a homebrew house rule initiative system that I created that there is a video that will be coming out on it in January. Yes, January. Look for that in January. It's my own homebrew initiative system I created. It's still, people still take turns and stuff, but it minimizes like keeping track of numbers and stuff and rolling dice. And it's a lot more organic and natural and smooth. It makes things go a little bit faster. There's more freedom to people. I'm like hyping it up. This is like the hype machine. It's great, guys. Look forward to this video coming out. Jacob Hart says, how do you feel about modern fantasy? I'm not sure what modern fantasy is. I mean, like Vampire the Masquerade in modern times and stuff? I don't know. If you like it, play it. I am the hype. Overclock 2020. You're bored on your break, dude? Oh, man. Like, I got bored the other day. I've been playing this game a little bit. You guys all see this? Medieval 2 Total War. Oh, this is the game. This game right here is old too, like super old. I played this back like my college, right after college. This game is like a decade or two old, but I was playing that. It's lots of fun. Joe M, what up, dude? Hey, look at Joe M. Joe M is sporting the egg. So like, if you guys look at Joe M's like chat message he just left, like YouTube, like members on my channel get these little cool symbols next to their names. And that egg right there, Joe, that egg is gonna like that once you've been a member long enough, a little dragon head's gonna poke through. And then the longer you're a member, it just keeps on growing and getting bigger. So yeah, that's cool. Anybody who's here's a plug for you. Anybody who's interested in checking out all of the perks you get being a member, there's a join button down below. You just click it and you can read like all of the benefits and junk like that. What are some of the things we do? We have monthly hangouts. We get together and over voice chat each month. You guys could help choose the videos I make and all that kind of cool stuff. So yeah, there's some cool perks. Oh my gosh, Wiggles mentioned the Greyhawk initiative system. Holy crap, you guys. If you guys want an example of a rules-heavy initiative system that just bogs down the game, look at the Greyhawk initiative system. I'm pretty sure there's an Unearthed Arcana about it. And I'm going to tell you what, I tried that out with a couple of my groups, and it was like, this sucks, thank you, no, we don't need this. It's so rules-heavy, it bogs everything down. It's like, man, we don't want that junk. So, actually, in my video, I just filmed my video this morning, actually, about my new initiative system, and I actually made fun of the Greyhawk system a little bit. Hope that's okay. I'm pretty sure there are people out there that like it. There's somebody at Wizards of the Coast who made it, and I'm gonna, like, rip on their junk. Whoops. Yeah, James Dower, there's a join button right down below this video, like over here or over here. You just click on it and it gives you information. All right, more questions. Hail Jordan, I've answered like 2 of your questions. I need to spread the love. Says, do you think a called shot system for a boss battle could be cool? Absolutely, it could be cool. I think you just got to make up something special. You got to have a boss where it actually matters to have called shots. Like I had a level 20 group that fought Tiamat, and Tiamat has 6 heads or 7 heads or something like that, and they got to the point where they were doing called shots on her heads to try to like destroy certain heads because they had resistances, they had immunities to several elements, but not certain ones. And so it was important to them to kill certain of the heads so that those heads couldn't breathe on them. And so called shots became really important during that battle for them. So yeah, that could absolutely be cool. You gotta make it. You gotta make something special. You have to make there be a reason to use called shots and have it be important in a boss battle to do it. Because if there's no real reason to do it, then nobody's gonna do it. Because in my game, so in 5th edition, there's no mechanic for called shots, but the way I do it is if you want to do a called shot on a specific part of a body, then you have disadvantage to attack that part of the body. And so there's got to be a good reason to do a called shot. Because otherwise, why would you take disadvantage? Disadvantage is horrible. Really horrible. 5 heads? Okay, 5 heads. I don't know. 6 or 7 or whatever. Let's just make up some more elements. All right, let's see another question here. Kyler Christian says, how do you implement terrain into your combat encounters? So basically, dude, like, I mean, if it's an outdoor encounter, I just put terrain there. Like, if they're in a swamp, then there's some patches of land, there's a fallen log, there's some water over here, there's some bushes that's like difficult terrain, you might be able to hide behind or something. If you're in like a dungeon, then there's always terrain. All of the furniture is terrain. Okay? Like, you got tables you can flip over, there are dressers and beds and stuff. All of that stuff is terrain. Just put it on the map. And then let people use it. Flip over a table and then hide behind it so people can't shoot at you and stuff like that. So like, that's all terrain, you know? And you just, yeah, I think I answered that question. Natalie says that her baby brother is bullying Jim the Skeleton. Dude, you tell your brother to stop right now. You hear that? Luke says to stop, baby brother. Do gnolls come from the abyss? I think so. I think the origination of gnolls is one of the demon princes. Yugoloth, yeah, it starts with a Y or something, I believe. Rampaged across the prime material plane. And I think wherever his saliva fell turned into a gnoll or something like that. It was something, the story goes something like that. But I think they came from the abyss. Or from one of the demon princes, at least. Okay. Opinion123 says, I've been trying to get my players to start taking notes. How do you suppose I go about this? I don't make my players take notes. Like, they can take notes if they want to, or they can not take notes. If I give them information and they don't take notes, and then they later forget said important information, they're screwed. And, you know, they might start to learn and be like, we should write this down because the dungeon master is not going to tell us later when we don't know what he told us. Because here's the thing, dude, like, if you tell them stuff and they don't write it down, and then later on they ask you about it, and then you just look it up and tell them again, you're training them not to take notes by giving them that information. When you stop telling them things for the 2nd, 3rd, 5th time, and they're like, oh crap, I should take notes, okay? Well, then there you go. Sometimes my players will be like, well, I'm the player and I don't know, but my character would know. Can I make like an intelligence check? And I'll be like, no, dude, you need to remember or you need to take notes. Like, that's how this is going to work, you know, and that's how I deal with that. And then that might, you know, now, so they might forget large swaths of stuff, and that's just a consequence of not taking notes, and that's their problem. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe I'm a jerk about it, but that's how I do it. Usually, combined, people can figure something out. All right, let's see. Jacqueline M. says, do you make generic maps to just reuse, like the forest, the desert, and stuff? I have a game that I run on Roll20, and for Roll20, for like random encounters, I pretty much just kind of reuse some of like these generic maps for random encounters. For like adventures, I don't reuse maps for adventures. I create like unique maps for every adventure that I run, because it's usually a dungeon of some sort. You know what I mean? But if you're just talking about like overland travel and random encounters, I would reuse maps. I'd have a handful of cool maps and I would just reuse them, especially on Roll20. You know, if you're talking about like drawing it out by hand on a grid, then making up a unique map is pretty easy each time, and I would just wing it. I already answered that one. Kendrick says, Luke, do you have a favorite D&D god or goddess? Mine is Tiamat, hands down. So, like, I think Torm. Torm is my favorite deity in the game, because my Sword Coast Guard players had a run-in with a bunch of Tormites, and they were put on trial. They killed a bunch of Tormites, and we had this whole game where they were, like, pretending to worship Torm, and they were listening to a priest give like a sermon about Torm, and every so often the priest would punctuate his like sermon with "Hail Torm," and all my players would be like, "Hail Torm," and the priest would like go on preaching and stuff about Torm, and then he would be like, "Hail Torm," and my players would be like, "Hail Torm," you know what I mean? And so we had this whole cool thing, and so like, yeah, Torm. I would say Torm only because there's history there, you know. So Josh, this rune around my neck, I have 4 of these that I wear. They're Viking or Celtic runes, and I just think they look cool. I have a piece of paper that like tells me what they mean. I don't remember what they mean though. I just think they look cool, and so I have a bunch of them, and I just randomly wear them. So that's it. I don't know which one this is. Somebody probably knows what this is. All right, Joe M has a question. It says, I agree that story-based leveling is better than XP-based leveling, but players still like to gain XP. That's true. What about a system of perks you could buy with XP? The more XP you spend, the more powerful the perk. Sure. Yeah, you could create something like that. I don't know, man. I'm not going to homebrew like a system like that on the spot, but it might be enjoyable. I definitely use milestone leveling myself, where it's like you accomplish certain goals and you gain a level. But I think a lot of players do like getting XP. So you could do some sort of like thing where like you do milestone leveling, but you also get some XP, and then you could use that XP to get certain things. I suppose that's a possibility. Somebody is like sending me text messages. Who's sending me a text message? Oh, this is some people. I'm just checking my phone. I'm just going to check my phone during the live stream. Is that okay, guys? No. Okay. Uru. Okay, so Kyler Christian says that rune is Urus, and it represents physical strength and speed. Oh, yeah, baby. What up? Oh, look at that. Ow. All right. Catherine Bishop says, how do you handle sentient magic items? I basically kind of just follow the rules in the Dungeon Master Guide where it talks about sentient magic items. One of my players has a sentient magic item, and I always forget about it, and I never do anything with it. If I were a better Dungeon Master, I'd probably do something with it and make it more fun. But I mostly just forget about it. So that's all I got to say, I think. Oh, wait. Okay. Overclocked has a question. Oh, okay. I got Overclocked's question. This is from earlier in the stream. Thank you for flagging that. And he's still here. I think Overclocked, you come to every stream now and stay the entire time, don't you? That's cool, dude. His question is, hi Luke. I'm running an Acquisitions Incorporated game in Eberron. The big bad is a dangerous prankster who causes dangerous events for his entertainment. How should I roleplay this socially and in combat? I don't know about socially, but like in combat, like I would have him doing pranks in combat, like things that like cause damage but are also funny to him, and then he would be laughing as it's happening. You know, like he would be mocking them, making fun of them, doing something that would cause them damage and stuff, but be kind of funny in a way, you know. I think you'd do something like that. I'm not sure. I don't have specific details. I can't crowdfund like, you know, specific ideas and stuff like for how to do that. You know, that's up to your imagination. But I would do something like that. You know, he's a prankster. Make him be a prankster. Make him mock people and make fun of them and stuff. You know, that's what I would do. I don't think I have anything better than that right now off the top of my head. A bard with cutting words. That's cool. Okay, Robert Ewan says, I'm making multiple little campaigns that will and are going into one campaign. And I'm afraid they will get to level 20 too fast to finish the campaign. What should I do? How are they going to get to level 20? Dude, it took my group like 2 years to get to level 20. 2 years? And then I fast-tracked them at the end. They went from level 15 and they jumped to 17. And then from 17, I had them jump to 20. Because, like, I just wanted to play at the higher levels to experience it. And I wanted to get to level 20. It took us a long time to get there. So I don't know how they're going to get there faster. And you can control how fast they level up, too, by the amount of, like, milestones you put in there or the amount of XP that you give them. You know, honestly, though, I wouldn't slow down their leveling. Because, like, players like to level up. A lot of the fun as a player is gaining levels and getting access to more and more abilities and spells. And so if you slow that down and make it slower for them to level up, I don't think that's going to be very fun for players. My friend John at work was telling me this story about, I think it was John at work. He was telling me this story about he had a DM once who would only level them up once per year. Once per year they would gain levels. And he's like, and it sucked to play level 1 for like an entire year. Okay? People don't like not leveling. So I wouldn't slow them down. What I would do instead is I would just like, your eyes are bigger than your stomach, basically. You have these grand visions of all of these crazy encounters and stuff. And you want to like squish them all into one campaign. You know what I mean? Well, don't. Take this idea and have it be a campaign that will get them to level whatever. And then when they're done with that, you know, then they can start at level 1 or 3 and then go with this idea that's this campaign, you know? Like, I struggle with the same thing, I think. There's all these cool things in the book that I want to put into one campaign. It doesn't work, right? You can't squish it all in there. You know, run multiple campaigns or find more groups. Have 4 groups so that you can make all of these different campaigns and run them with different groups, you know? Yeah, Wiggles, I don't know. Hey! Oh, man, how do I pronounce that word? Drippin' Yilamendez. Thanks for subscribing. I don't know, dude, how many players they had role-playing at level 1 for a year. It was crazy. And he was telling me things like, even after a year, a lot of times he wouldn't level up because he had died or something. And then his new character that he had just rolled up hadn't done enough to gain a level. It was a horrible system. He didn't like it. I don't know why he kept on playing. If he didn't like it, you know. Kendrick says, is it better to do a generic big bad race like dragon, lich, beholder, etc., strong but cliched, or just do something different and very unexpected, which some find underwhelming? I don't think either is better. I think I would do either. Like, if you're playing with players, maybe it's based on your players. If you're playing with new players that haven't really played D&D before, then using the classic big bads like a dragon, beholders, and liches is awesome because they've never experienced that before. If you have players that have been playing since like the very beginning of D&D and they've done all that stuff before, they might appreciate some unexpected and novel stuff. On the other hand, they might just appreciate all of the tropes of D&D because that's what it is, and they enjoy that stuff. I don't think that there is a better way to do it. I think either is good. And you might consider doing a mix of them, you know? I use the standard tropes and stuff all the time. I am not trying to be all artsy and special when I'm creating stuff for my players. You know, I'm just running D&D, you know? I'm sure there's some folks out there who would look at the games I run and the adventures I create and have all this like snobbish attitude of like, he's using a dragon for a boss. That's so common. That's so ordinary. Here he is, supposedly this awesome dungeon master, and he's using a dragon. And they're gonna like turn their nose up at that, and I think that's just stupid, you know. So yeah, just do whatever you want, man. Whatever you think is fun and whatever your players enjoy. Oh, Alex Ethan, this sounds like a good question. What do you do when your players accidentally trigger an extremely powerful boss? You kill them. And they know its stats. Can you still adjust the power? How do they know its stats? They don't know the stats. I call horse crap on that. The players do not know the stats. The players might have looked it up. I got some cats that are killing each other. Squirty! Squirty pie. Come here, Squirty pie. Hey, she's coming. Cat cam. Cat cam. Cat cam. Squirty. She's like staying just off camera. You can see her ear. You can see her ear like moving around behind that old crappy chair. Oh, here comes Squeaky. Hi, Squeaky. One of my cats over there is like killing the other cats, like attacking them. Jack Anderson says, question, is there a cat cam? Yes, there is a cat cam. That's Squeaky right there. Okay, I was in the middle of answering a question. So, your players might have looked up the monster in this book right here, but guess what? The Dungeon Master can customize his monsters whenever he wants to. And so I would say they don't know the stat blocks because you can make the stat blocks whatever you want them to be. And if I have placed like really powerful monsters in adventures before, and my players most of the time are smart enough not to fight them. But if they do trigger them and get into a fight with them and it's like way above their pay grade, I do not hold back. Like, I don't adjust things. I don't make the monster like weaker than it should be. I go all out, and if they die, they die. If they run away, then they run away. Like, I'm not gonna pull punches. Like, the game, I think that lends to like realism in the game. Like, if they run into an ancient white dragon and they're level 5, like, yo guys, don't pick a fight with it, because if you pick a fight with it, it's probably just gonna kill you. Okay, and usually my players are smart enough not to pick a fight with it. they like negotiate and try to get away from it or something, you know. I hope that answers the question. What was your favorite character you created as a player? Robert, I don't think I have a favorite character. I create lots of characters, and my characters die all the time, like constantly are dying because I'm reckless and take risks. And I enjoy making new characters, and so I don't mind when my characters die. All right, here's some more questions. Phoenix says, have my question been answered yet? I have no idea. What was his question? How do I feel about a black hole in a campaign? Okay. I mean, if it sucks the world into it and the whole world is destroyed, then that's a problem. But I don't see why that's a bad idea. Let me see. Legend Network says, what was your opinion on the Sword Coast guide? Personally, I think it wasn't too great at telling you about the Sword Coast, such as history or more than major cities. Yeah, I have, hold on. So, I have the Forgotten Realms campaign setting from 2nd edition, and I think this is probably better than the Sword Coast guide that they gave us, because this one actually talks about a whole lot of the world and has lots of cool resources and crap in it. The Sword Coast guide is perhaps a little bit unfulfilling, and it doesn't talk about a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know. It's not. I mean, it's a small little book for the entire. Well, it's the Sword Coast too. Yeah. I think I agree. I'm not super impressed with it. Josh Eden says, how do you go about creating a campaign? I'm trying to make one, but I'm afraid I'll leave it with plot holes, and I'm not great with geography and stuff like making maps. Can you help me? Okay, first of all, my first suggestion is don't create your own game world. Okay, use a pre-made game world like Forgotten Realms or Eberron or something. So that way you don't got to worry about geography and making maps and all that kind of stuff. You don't need to make the setting yourself. Okay. Wait a second. You're saying how do you create a campaign? Well, what do you mean by campaign? When I think of campaign, I'm thinking about the adventures that people go on. Maybe you're talking about the setting. No, then you say plot holes. Okay, so I'm going to answer the question about adventures. Don't worry about plot holes. Just don't worry about it. Okay? Don't worry about plot holes. If your players find plot holes, this is what's going to happen. At the game table, they're going to be like, oh, wait, there's a plot hole right here. And then they're going to talk about it. And then they're going to have a conversation about it. And then you as the dungeon master, you sit there and you be totally quiet and don't say anything. Don't defend the plot hole. Don't explain it. Nothing. You stay perfectly quiet as your players talk about it. And you know what's going to happen? One or two of them are going to start thinking that, oh, maybe it's planned. Maybe it's not a plot hole. Maybe there's a reason for it. And then they will start hypothesizing why that plot hole isn't a plot hole or what could it actually mean. And that's when you start listening even more. And then they're creating the answers to your own problem, right? And then you could just pick one and have that be the answer. Don't tell them or anything. Just keep it all mysterious and stuff. But don't worry about plot holes. If they see it, then you can fix it later or something. I wouldn't worry about it a whole lot. As far as how to create a campaign, I have some videos on my channel about campaign creation. They're kind of older videos. There's a 2-part series. One of the videos I talk about the different theory about how to create a campaign. And then in the second video, I actually create a campaign in the video. And then, if you want to learn more about the details of how to create a campaign, go look for those videos on my channel. That's my answer. I can't go into a whole lot of depth, but I'll just tell you about videos I already made that have lots of information in them. Hail Jordan, I keep answering your questions. You're the popular person today. How do you play D&D with no healer? You make healing potions very available. Make it so that they can buy healing potions and make sure they have enough money to buy healing potions. That's how you do it. And then when they start dying, that's hard. They have to take the body to town and pay somebody to raise people from the dead, and they got to pay money for it. All right, so Felix's question is above question 35, okay? Look at this, they're killing each other. Oh, this is beautiful. You see, this is why we have a cat cam, okay? They're still looking at each other. They're gonna fight behind that chair, and I'm gonna miss it. Oh man, no. That was Squeaky. Squeaky won. So here's the thing, you guys. Like, it sounded like... So Squirty Pie was the one doing all the crying. Now, it sounded like Squeaky was actually hurting her. He wasn't. Squirty Pie is a big baby. Like, if you touch her wrong, she'll cry. Like, you actually hurt her, and you're not hurting her. She's just a big baby. And so Squeaky will, like, play with her, and she's like, nah! Like she's dying or something. That was a great cat fight. That's why we have a cat cam. Okay, we were answering a question. Phoenix has a question. He says, none of my players like any system other than roll for stats, and they are always rolling very high, and it isn't really my favorite system to play with. What should I do? Well, I mean, you can do two things there. First of all, you can say, hello, I'm the Dungeon Master. We're not rolling for stats anymore. We're using 27 point buy. Period, end of story. And they have no choice. So you could always do that. The other thing you can do is just talk to them and be like, hey guys, rolling for stats is a problem because, you guys are always rolling really high on the stats. And there are reasons why that creates a problem. There are actual reasons why having super high stats when you begin the game aren't good. And I'm not going to go into those right now. But you could just say we need to roll stats differently. So instead if you guys really want to roll, then we're not going to do 4d6 drop the lowest. We're just going to do 3d6. Right? 3d6. And that's definitely going to lower the average of the stats, I would also make sure that they're not cheating, dude. Hardcore, are they physically there with you? Are you observing them roll their stats? Don't trust them to roll those stats, dude. It is a mistake to trust players the honor system of rolling stats. Okay? It's a mistake. Every time. Make sure you're watching them roll their stats. Okay? It is your starting stats are one of the biggest important things of the character creation process. And having high stats greatly influences your character. And so the temptation to cheat is so high. Okay? So high. So make sure you're watching them roll their stats too. That said, I know that high rolls happen all the time when you're using 46 drop the lowest. So you might just need to change the system you're using. Or you could brainwash them or something. I don't know. I don't have any other suggestions for you, man. Oh my gosh. Good gravy. All right. Barry Litherland, I got an answer for you, buddy. Toxic. Adventure creation is going to start probably about 8 o'clock, so 15 minutes. In about 15 minutes, we're going to start working on our adventure, and we're going to stop doing the questions and stuff. All right, Barry says, how do you handle a rogue that keeps passing you too many whisper notes about what they want to do behind the party's back? Okay, first of all, Barry, I don't do this whole bullcrap of whisper notes about what the rogue is doing behind the party's back. I don't play that game, okay? Because usually all that stuff that the rogue wants to do and not let people know out of character is because he's being a Wayne Rod and he's being a jerk and he's doing stuff that he knows the other players won't like. And that's the reason that he doesn't want them to know that he's doing those things. He wants to pass you notes so that he can hide the fact that he's being a jerk to the other players and that he's screwing them over. And so he wants to make sure they don't know about those things out of character. Okay? So here's the thing. If you want to screw the rest of your players over, then guess what? You're going to tell me out loud what you're doing so the other players can hear all of the bull crap that you're trying to pull on them. Okay? And then the other players can all get pissed at you and be like, why are you screwing us over, dude? And then social pressure and peer pressure are going to keep that rogue from doing a whole bunch of bull crap to screw the other players over. If you want to screw all the other players over, then you're going to screw them over and they're going to know about it out of character. And then you can deal with them all being pissed at you, dude. Okay? So that's my answer to that question. I don't do the whisper note bull crap. Like, you want to screw everybody over, then they're going to know about you screwing them over. Okay? And that's the way it's going to be. Like, they'll know out of character. Okay? If you want to be a wang rod, then we're all going to know about it. And then I feel like that often will cut down on them being a wang rod, because now they don't want everybody to be mad at them. Okay? Which is kind of the point, for them to stop being a jerk to the other players. Yeah, that's my answer. Yes, Cthulhu, just start reading the notes out loud. Perfect, man, that's awesome. Simon, thanks for subscribing, buddy. Being a wang rod is highly underrated. Okay, man. Yeah, I just don't like, I mean, seriously, I don't like players being jerks to other players. It's horse crap. Like, seriously, there are lots of beautiful things about Dungeons and Dragons, but the thing about Dungeons and Dragons that differentiates it from, like, most of the other games out there is that the players aren't competing against each other. One of the things that people like about Dungeons and Dragons is the fact that you're not competing against the other players. They like the cooperative nature of Dungeons and Dragons. And this is a reason that many people play, because there are no losers. You play the game and you have fun and everybody wins. The Dungeon Master wins and the players win. But when you have that one player who wants to turn it into some sort of competition and screw other people over and steal money from their pockets and take away their magic item, that player is ruining the game for other people, and he needs to be called out on it, and it needs to be publicly known that he's being a jerk and he's being a wang rod. Okay? Let that be common knowledge, public knowledge. Okay? Don't let him, like, ruin everybody else's game because he wants to be a jerk. You know what I mean? I think that's horse crap. So I don't put up with that crap. And players like that don't last very long in my games, because they'd get the boot. And I keep telling them, no, you're not doing that. Why can't I do that? Because you're trying to be a jerk. Well, that's what my character would do. Horse crap. There's a if you guys watch Matt Colville, he did a video a little bit ago. I think the video might be titled "The Wang Rod Answer" or something. I don't remember, but basically his video was about how that's what my character would do, is basically what the wang rod uses as an excuse to cover up bad behavior in the game. And it's horse crap. I don't put up with that junk. If that's what your character would do, then you need to roll up a new character to play in this game, because your character is being a jerk to everybody else and nobody's having fun and nobody likes it. So make a new character, please. Okay, that was the rant for tonight. The rant is over. We are all going to calm down, and we're going to answer more questions. Thank you. Generous Seal says, Luke is neutral good when it comes to sneaky backstabbing. Neutral good. Yeah, maybe. I guess. All right. So, like, every time I hear a player talking to me and they're like, well, that's what my character would do, there's this, like, voice in the back of my head that's like, I want to strangle you. All right. Ender Warlock says, how do you describe successful save rolls that wouldn't make sense for that character? For instance, a weak sorcerer was being grappled by this bulky goon. She got a natural 20 to overpower him. Well, first of all, natural 20s aren't automatic successes. Natural 20s are only automatic successes when it's an attack roll. It doesn't work that way for saving throws or for ability checks. That's just the rules as written. Raw. But if she does get an athletics check that's higher than his, then you can describe it however you want. She just had a surge of strength and he had a moment of weakness or something. It's possible. Like, dude, so check this out. My daughter is significantly smaller than me, okay? I have at least 100 pounds on her, if not more. And I'm much, much stronger. But I'll tell you what, sometimes she and I will do like wrestling and grappling and stuff. And sometimes she gets away from me and I can't hold on to her. And she might just get some better leverage on me or something and she gets away. It happens, okay? And it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm heavier, stronger than she is. It has to do with the fact that she just had a fortunate turn of events. She got lucky. She had better leverage or something, and it just happens. Okay? I wouldn't. The barbarian skipped leg day. Oh, that's funny, dude. Everybody skips leg day, man. So, like, I don't think I would worry too much about describing it. It's like, it happened. Who cares? You know, you don't have to describe it. Like, and besides which, like, for crap like that, I don't even necessarily feel like, as the dungeon master, I'm responsible for describing it. If the players are like, well, how did that happen? Somebody has to describe that. I would put that crap on the player. Okay, weak sorcerer, you tell us, how did you get away from that person? And make the player think about it. Why does the dungeon master have to be the only source of creativity for these things? They shouldn't be. The players can help out. Wiggles, I have not looked into Odyssey of Dragonlords. I don't think I've ever even heard of it. I'm going to tell you what, dude. The chances of me investigating something, considering my time constraints and all the crap I have going on, are very, very low. Just complete honesty. I have no time, dude. And I don't think I've heard of that. I have like so much candy from Christmas. I got this right here. This is a random topic, by the way. I have one of these things full of chocolate. I have a whole thing of pistachios. This is like show and tell time. I have a sock full of candy, okay? Like, oh, that's not it. Where is that? Hold on. My wife did something. Oh, where is it? No. Okay. My wife drew a card for me. Go check out. It had some inappropriate pictures on it. Like, she was trying to draw Christmas trees, but they came out looking like something else. So go to my Twitter account if you want to see the picture that she drew. It was awesome. You'll like it. Sorry, that was show and tell time. That was a tangent. I apologize. That was not about D&D. Barry says, failure to consume sufficient quantities of chocolate is a major cause of climate change. That's great. I should probably eat more chocolate. Oh yeah, we've only got a few minutes left for questions. And I'm like going on tangents. Oh, what is the dumbest trap any of your players fell for? Okay, this was a Sword Coast Guard story. So like, my players had just defeated Granny Titchwillow, and they go upstairs and there's this chest. One of my players, Robert was the player name. I don't remember what his character's name was, but he was Robert. And he opens this chest up, okay? After checking it for traps, and there are no traps on it, he opens this chest up. And a bunch of bees, a swarm of bees, come out and attack him. And he gets stung, and they kill the bees, and they're like, that was dumb. Because the bees were really easy to kill. And the bees attack him, and then Robert looks down into the bottom of this chest, and at the bottom of this chest, there is one copper piece, okay? And he's like, this is bullcrap. I just got stung by bees, and there's one copper piece. And he's like, this is horse crap. And I'm like, okay, what do you do? And he's like, I take the copper piece, you know? And he touches the copper piece, and that is when he gets zapped by a bolt of lightning and takes like a crap ton of damage from touching that copper piece. It was freaking hilarious. That was like the best trap ever. Like, he's like, out of contempt, he's like grabbing the copper piece, and then he gets slammed with lightning. So that was beautiful. That's probably my favorite trap that I've ever used in a game. It was beautiful. Can I do a skit with my cats instead of players? I don't think my cats would like doing that. They would probably not be too keen on being in a skit. Joyful Candy Cube says, I need advice on filling out places that have been abandoned. but the stuff are still all there, which the players will of course want to loot, like a laboratory, a tower. I don't know. You just need to put stuff in them, dude. Like, I'm not sure what advice you need. You just need to fill the rooms up with stuff. Put stuff in there. I don't know what else to say. That's my advice. I don't think I'm helping you. Have I ever run a campaign for evil characters? If so, how to go about it? Not really, and I'm not sure. How would I run for... I'd have to think about it. Honestly, if I were running a campaign for evil characters, I'd still want it to be like a group of 5 evil people working together, and they would still be going on adventures. So I think the premise of the game would be the same. You're working together, even though you're evil, and you're all going on adventures together. Only you're evil, so you're doing evil things, and your goals might be evil goals. I think I'd probably still want to run the same game. The difficulty is, of course, because they're evil, it might be harder to motivate them. Like, saving the world is not going to motivate them anymore. There needs to be some sort of motivation that holds them together and stuff, which I think that might be the more difficult part. And how do you not get it to where it devolves into 5 people going and doing different things? Because I'm not going to play that game. I'm not going to run 5 games at the same time. Thank you very much. So I'm not sure, man. That's a good question, though. I'm sure somebody out there has done that before. I can help you. The coffee's gone again. All right, I'm doing one more question, and then I'm going to do one more question, and then we're going to take an intermission break. And then when we come back, we're going to start working on our adventure, and we're going to finish our adventure, Fishy Business. So that's how that's going to go down. So let's just pick one more thing. Rebecca. Let's do Rebecca's. She says, do you use species culture in the world? Do you ever use species culture in the world? Perhaps towns are speciest or allude that sometimes certain species aren't common in a region, like cultural influences. Yeah, I think so. I think I've done that before, maybe. I don't think that I go too out of my way to have certain species only be in certain towns, but I'm sure there are definitely times when they come across a halfling village or a gnome village or a sprite village, and that's all that's in the village. Yeah, I think I've done that before, but I don't put a whole lot. My games tend to focus more on the adventure itself and going into the adventure and overcoming the challenges in the adventure. I don't do a whole lot of stuff that really calls attention to the world itself. I'm not saying that that's good on my end. It might be a failing on my end. I just don't focus on that stuff. So I probably don't have a very satisfying answer for you. I'm sure that there are many other people who do that better than I do. That's my guess on that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a break here. Yes, Toxic, you can use that trap. If you're talking about my coin trap with the lightning bolt, absolutely use that. All right, I'm going to put on a intermission screen, and we're going to take an intermission break, and then when we come back, we're going to be working on Fishy Business. So just in case y'all folks don't know what we're talking about, I'm going to give you a preview of what we're going to be doing here. And let me pull the adventure up. If I had planned a little bit better, I would have already had this ready to go, but I did not plan super well. So just give me a hot second here. Okay. So basically, this right here is our adventure, Fishy Business. We have been working on this for quite some time now. It's looking pretty good. It's 11 pages. We have locations built out. We have encounters made. We have lots of information. We have read aloud text. We have, it's a lot of cool stuff. This is what we have been writing for quite some time now, and we're going to continue working on this right here. And I'll show you our map. My map is just something that I made. There is nothing special about this map. I drew this myself on graph paper, as you can see, and I think that all we have left to do is, hold on a second. I think we have to do the throne room. We have to do the treasure vault. We have to do the leader's court. We did the throne room, so we have the throne room done. All we have left to do now, guys, is the leader's quarters, which are empty. I think we're just going to put some loot in there or something. And then we're going to do this treasure vault, which is going to have like some treasure in it. And I think we wanted to make a puzzle or something, or a trap for this treasure vault. But that's really all we have left to do for this, and then we're done. And so yeah, this is gonna be awesome. I think we're gonna finish this tonight. So yeah, that's the plan for tonight. Okay, yeah. So like hardcore. Seriously, I have a dungeon cartographer, and she is amazing. She has an Instagram account called Paths of Inspiration, and she does an amazing job. So like, yeah, she would kill this if I gave this to her. But this is what you get from me. But which is fine, because this is all you need. Like, if you're running this at your game table, this is all you need, is just a little thing on a grid, because you're going to draw it out yourself anyway. You know what I mean? So, okay, here we go. No, I'm not going to make the map in Dungeon Fog. I was actually using Dungeon Fog to make this map, and I felt like the tool was getting in the way of our creativity. And it was kind of bogging down the stream a little bit, and it was taking me longer to draw out the map and stuff, and I didn't like it. I want the focus of this adventure creation shouldn't be like drawing out a map in an online tool. I want it to be about creating aspects of the adventure. And so I stopped using Dungeon Fog. I still use Dungeon Fog when I'm drawing out maps for my Patreon game, for instance, because I think it's really cool. But it just didn't work out very well for a live stream. It was bogging things down, and I don't use it a whole ton, so I'm like, how do I do this? And I was getting lost in crap. So I just went to graph paper, because graph paper is very dependable, and I can draw exactly what I want, when I want, where I want it. So yeah, there you go. Okay, anyway, let's do an intermission here. Let me cue up some beautiful music for you, and stand by. I'll put some music on for you, and then we'll do an intermission break. And then when we come back, we'll keep working on that. You know, Tashio, I don't know if this is you or me, but every time you post something, it posts like 3 times. I don't know if anybody else sees that or if it's just me. But it's weird. All right, here's some music for you. And Ender sees it too? Okay, that's interesting. All right, let's go to intermission break. Intermission! right, let's get this show on the road. We're gonna turn the music off. All right. Okay, cool. Guys ready to do this? All right, so we are going to, I didn't mention this before, but this is a level 1 through 4 D&D adventure, okay? It's important to note that because yes. Somebody's like, let's put a mind flayer in there. No, that's going to kill people. All right, so we actually, we don't have a lot to do. So we have this, I should probably show you my screen, because this is gonna work a lot better when you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. So we need to flesh out the leader quarters right here, and then we need to flesh out the treasure vault. So let's go into our, okay, so a little bit of an overview as well. This adventure is about some Kuo-toa. We're using a lot of Kuo-toa in this adventure. And we have a bunch of different stuff in here too. But it's mostly a Kuo-toa themed adventure. And what we're going to be doing in the leader quarters right here is we had and these Kuo-toa all worship an aboleth as well. And the throne room, so K11, I'm like refreshing our memory and my memory of what was going on here so that we can actually start creating some stuff here, because we got to set some context and stuff like that. Yes, the aboleth does not appear in the adventure. That would be crazy for a level 1 through 4 adventure. Oh yeah, Cthulhu, did you get into the adventure? Somebody got into the adventure. That was cool. No, yeah. An elder brain? No, that's not gonna happen. So let's go back over here. What is this? Cancel. Close. Thank you. So they were fighting in this throne room. There's a Kuo-toa in the throne room. The Kuo-toa king, it looks like. And this adventure is... So there is a Kuo-toa king. And they're going to fight him in the throne room, presumably. And then he has some, bodyguards and stuff. Okay, excellent. And then he has some loot on him. Great. There's a bunch of loot already on the Kuo-toa king. All right, so basically what we're doing... So I'm setting that stage right there, because what I want to map out now, what I want to kind of create is the leader quarters right here. So we need to figure out, this is the Kuo-toa's king's quarters where he lives, and it's all submerged, it's underwater. And so we just need to figure out what's going to be in his room. What kind of stuff, and this is where you guys all start brainstorming ideas. What kind of stuff are we going to find in the Kuo-toa's quarters? Like where he sleeps and stuff like that. So objects, cool things like that. That's what we're thinking of right now. So please drop some ideas in the chat, because I don't want to be creative right now. I just want to steal your ideas. The queen is in the bedroom and is furious when you walk in. There's not going to be a Trask in there, dude. No, thank you. Trevor, what's going on, dude? The aboleth is really 3 kobolds in an aboleth costume. That's funny. Do Kuo-toa come from eggs? I don't know. Does anybody know the lore of Kuo-toa? It's a king, though. Kings don't lay eggs. A fish stick? I don't want to put any more loot. We're not doing any more loot though. So no loot ideas. No loot. We've already given everybody all the loot. The loot is over. So we're not handing out any more loot. I think I already even did that stuff, yeah. There is no more loot to distribute in this adventure. No loot. We've already placed all of the loot that we generated throughout the adventure. A mimic. Kuo-toa presumably come from a spawn like fish. That's a possibility. A dead fish monster as a bed. Oh, that's cool. What kind of fish monster could it have as a bed? An aboleth summoning stone. Oh, that's interesting. Battle plans, secret alliance documents, blackmail items against a peer. All those are cool. Ooh. Yeah, a trophy would be fine. The skeleton of an adult shark hanging above a bed made of rocks. Ooh. Okay, all right. Let's start writing some of this. So we'll say, this submerged room contains the skeleton of an adult shark floating against one wall as though it's a trophy of sorts. Okay, cool. Jim the skeleton. All right. Sharks don't have skeletons. Oh! Do sharks not have skeletons? They don't have any bones at all? Fish have bones. Sharks don't have skeletons? Okay. I guess we're having to change that. What, instead of a shark, what kind of fish monster could the Kuo-toa king have killed and then hang up in his room? What kind of fish monster? Just a jaw, they're cartilage. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, a shark's not a fish? Okay. I don't know these things. Yeah, sharks definitely don't drink milk. A kraken? Ooh, a baby kraken. It could be a baby kraken. Yes. Yes. But again, do krakens have bones? Or are krakens just like... Yeah, I don't know. I guess a kraken is like a fantasy monster, so we could say that it has bones if we want to. You know? Okay, so we're going to say contains the skeleton of an odd looking sea creature. All right, and then we're going to say sea creature skeleton. This is the skeleton of a small, we'll say baby. Baby kraken that the Kuo-toa king hunted and killed some time ago. All right, that's cool. I like that. All right, what other ideas we got? You know what? We're going to say that it has bones because it's a fantasy monster. That's what we're saying. And we're the dungeon master, so boom, there it is. Ooh, that's a cool idea, Ender Warlock. Shrunken merfolk heads dangle above the bed. Okay, we will say several small heads float in a web of seaweed above a bed woven of kelp. I don't know. I'm just making crap up at this point. And then we're going to say small heads. These are shrunken heads of merfolk that the king tortured and killed. There we go. Let's make him evil. Dun, dun, dun. I mean, there could be a minor illusion of a map of the dungeon. We could put that in there. At this point, they've gone through the entire dungeon, so they're going to know where most of the stuff is. The bed is a sea anemone. What the heck is a sea anemone? Hold on a second. Cthulhu, you have just inspired a Google search. Now I have to find out what that is. Stand by. Stand by. Oh, that's interesting. Well, that looks cool. That's safe for the kiddies. So this is a sea anemone. Anemone. Okay, thanks for the pronunciation help, Barry. I appreciate that. I'm like the dude who can't pronounce anything. Anemone. Cool. A sea anemone. All right, I got it. That's pretty cool. I like that. We're gonna use that for our bed. Cool. That's better. In a web of seaweed above a bed made from a sea anemone. It's so weird. It's such a weird name. All right, cool. What else could we put in this room? Oh, they're deadly toxic. Not to Kuatoa, we'll say. A giant stuffed frog with a giant pearl being held in its mouth. Too heavy to be moved. Oh, that's cool. It looks tasty if fried. Oh, there could be a trunk, Thomas. There could be a trunk with that stuff in there. Let's do that. Okay, so a large trunk floats in one corner. Okay, you guys, how about we make a little trap for this trunk? What are some ideas for traps that we could have on this trunk? Contains fishing gear. Such as a spear gun, tackle, and lures. Awesome. What can we put in a trap? That's interesting. The sea anemone is a mimic. Haha! Yeah, it could be a mimic that, like, only attacks if they open the trunk without saying the password. Awesome. Cool. What's the password? What's the password? I like that idea. What's the password going to be? So hold on. Let's do... I have a... Let's just do this. Trap on trunk. Gary the intern. Anemone. Anemone could be the password. That's a good idea. I like it. Fishy Business. Rosebud. Jim the Skeleton. Okay, Natalie, what's going on with Jim the Skeleton? Like, seriously, I feel like you need to explain to us why you keep on saying Jim the Skeleton. Like, there's a story there, I feel like. Oh, the Aboleth's name. That, you know what? The Aboleth's name makes sense for the password. Let's go find the Aboleth's name. We should have it up here. Zorchid the Binder is the name of the Aboleth. All right, so let's go back to here. If the password, stand by, paste, Zorchid the Binder is not spoken before opening the trunk, the sea anemone bed actually a mimic animates and attacks whoever opened the trunk. The mimic does not otherwise attack. Cool. What level is a mimic? Like, this is a level 1 through 4 adventure. So I feel like, we need to know, like, how hard a mimic is. Where is the mimic? Mimic! It's a CR2. That's not that bad. I feel like, hold on a second. Let's go punch the numbers on this. So, whoops, that's the wrong button. There we go. So if we have, this is the website that I use for calculating challenges. So if I have 4 players and they're level 1, and I have 1 CR2 monster, that is deadly. Whoops. At level 2, though, it's only medium. And once they get to level 3, it's easy. At level 4, it's trivial. So it's really only a problem at level 1, really. I'm okay. It's not that deadly. It's just a little bit deadly. And because there's only 1 monster, you're going to have 4 players, and they're going to surround and pound. Action economy is on their side, so I'm not really concerned about that. I think they'll do okay. Maybe somebody dies. That's life. Yeah. They can beat it up. I'm not worried about it. I think they can handle the mimic. It's not a problem. It's a critical. Hello. Lieutenant Monkey. I don't know how much gold level 3 characters start with. If I were having people roll up level 3 characters, I'd have them get their starter gold just from rolling up their character. They don't need anything else. Oh, what's that website called, James? Hold on. I'll give you a link to it. I think I have a link down in the description for this website because this is an awesome website. Really, really cool. This is what I use all the time when I'm creating my adventures, you guys, because it makes calculating the encounter difficulty like super easy for stuff. Are they even going to get there on level 1? I don't know. They might all die before they ever get there. Yeah, you could do that. How many hit points does it have? 58 hit points? Yeah, you could say, let's make a note on here then. So let's say note. DM note. For a level 1 party, the mimic only has, say, 25 hit points. How much damage does it do? It does enough damage to kill a character in 1 hit. Woo! That's fun. Look at that. You guys see that? 1 hit could kill a character. It's not going to kill him. It'll drop him to 0 hit points, and then they can heal him or something. That's not a big deal. But I think giving it fewer hit points is good. Give it about 25 hit points, and they can kill it in like 1 or 2 rounds. That's not a problem. And it's easy to hit. It has like 20. Its armor class was like 12, so it's super easy to hit. I don't think that's a problem. I think they'll do fine. Okay, that's cool. I like that. That's a great idea. Oh, did Natalie answer the question about Jim the skeleton? No, I'm trying to see if she answered that question. Oh, Jim is my skeleton. It's not complicated. I have a skeleton. His name is Jim. Okay, Natalie. That's funny. Oh, Yeah, there could be seaweed curtains around the area that the leader would float when sleeping. Yeah. Yeah, I think that sounds cool. Above a above a bed made from a sea and anemone. Anemone. All right. Anything else interesting we can put in this room? Like actual something to poke around at or be like, you know, for them to interact with? Something cool? James, I dropped a link to the website. So you just click the link. And there's a link to it down in the description as well. A small pet catfish type creature in a cage with a food bowl. Oh, that sounds cool. A large trunk floats in one corner, as does a small cage. And then we're going to say cage. What could it, like urchin. Okay, what kind of pets could it have in there? It could have a catfish. The king keeps a variety of pets in this cage. A catfish. Oh, that's cool. A fat catfish. A seahorse. A hermit crab. Somebody else had something. There was something else up here. Oh, an urchin? An urchin? Urchin? An urchin, however you pronounce that. And a clownfish. There we go. Yeah, this is fresh water. Which of these things doesn't live in fresh water? Okay, Sven Silverman. See you later, buddy. We'll catch you in the next stream. Yeah, we got like fresh water, and like we have a mixture of like freshwater fish and seawater fish, saltwater fish. Okay, the catfish are freshwater, the rest are saltwater. Okay, so let's take the catfish out. And let's say the king keeps yeah. The king has a magical ward placed on the cage that converts the water in it into salt water to preserve his special pets. There you go. Bam. Problem solved. If krakens can have bones, then catfish can be in seawater. Oh, that's funny, dude. Oh, you know what we can do? Let's do this. We're going to put a catfish in there. A fat catfish. And we're going to say the king has a special ward placed on the cage. My D button on my keyboard, my D button is dying. And so it's not always typing properly. That allows creatures that breathe both freshwater and saltwater to live in it with, there we go, something like that. So it basically whether you live in freshwater or saltwater, you can live in that cage. So there you go. We used magic to solve our problem. I'm out of coffee. That's not good. I'll tell you what, James, if you click that link and go to that website, it's going to have a name at the top of that page. Right there. That's the name of the website. There you go. Okay. They're all dead fish. It's an evil aquarium. Oh no, that's not good. I'm not sure magic will solve the out of coffee problem. Yeah, no kidding, man. Merfolk live in saltwater. Well, merfolk live in freshwater here. We use the saltwater shark. Okay, here's the deal. We are not going to keep track of like the monsters that we used and whether they live in freshwater or saltwater, and then try to maintain consistency in this adventure. I'm just saying that that's not something that we're gonna do. Okay. That is not a level of detail that I am prepared to adhere to for this adventure. So if that causes problems for some folks, then you're welcome to download this and rework it so that it's all good. We're just making a fun D&D adventure. We're going to just say it's magic, and that solves all of our problems. Yeah, it's a fantasy world. Those rules don't apply. These questions need answers. What to do if the party has a perceptive wizard? Just cast Fireball on the wizard and take care of him. Oh, let's also keep track of the water temperature. Okay. That's awesome. An aboleth plushie? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, continuity does not matter. Okay. Okay, Tashio. See you later, buddy. Thanks for hanging out with us, man. I appreciate it. Where is he? Is he from South Africa or Australia or something? He's from a ways away. I forget now. I'm sure he's told me before, and now I'm like, I don't remember. I have a crappy memory. It's late for him though. All right. Are we done with this room? This was the leader quarters. We have a bunch of junk in there. I think that's pretty cool. That's some stuff to play with. We got a trap in there. We have a mimic. Some interesting stuff. Okay, let's move on to our next room. South Africa. Yeah, I was right. I said South Africa. Woo! See, my memory doesn't suck that bad. Mike says, I like fun D&D. I don't want to read an encyclopedia and need a biology degree. That's good. It's a good point, dude. Nice. Okay, an aboleth plushie. Okay, fine. We'll put an aboleth plushie. Okay. There is also an adorable plushie. An adorable aboleth plushie in the trunk. There. Are we happy? Bam. I would put money on the fact that no player connects the fact that there's freshwater and saltwater problems in this adventure. They're probably just going to go through and like kill everything and call it a day. And nobody will ever ask any questions. That would be my guess. Yeah, and they're going to level up. All right, let's do our treasure vault. We wanted to have a puzzle here. So this treasure vault right here, when they go in here, we want there to be a puzzle. Somehow they need to solve a puzzle to get into the treasure vault. And I'm going to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I am not good at making puzzles. So you all need to do some brainstorming and help me out here. Oh, and here's the other thing. We're probably going to get lots of ideas for puzzles, and we're going to pick one of them. So if you don't get picked, it's not like getting picked last at recess. No, we didn't do it on purpose. So give me some ideas for puzzles. Otherwise, I'm just going to put a lock on the door and call it a day. Yeah, we have a caged pet. We have a cage full of pets in there. All right. We already know what's in the treasure vault. The treasure vault is full of coral and shells. Because that is what Kuo-toa find of value. This large chamber is filled with... What does coral look like? Is coral like... I should... Hold on a second. Coral reef. Yeah, it's like tons of different colors and stuff. Like lots of different colors. Okay. With chunks of multi-colored coral and a variety of seashells and seashells of a variety of different shapes and sizes. Treasure. That's right. Just coral and seashells. Because that's what Kuo-toa find valuable. All right. Now we gotta work out a puzzle here. Oh yeah. There is also a small chest. And then we're going to put in the chest contains drawings of the Kuo-toa's children who live with his ex. He lost them in the custody battle. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up, but I'm rolling with it. Okay, what is our puzzle? Do we have an idea for a puzzle yet? I've been like typing over here and you guys are like coming up with ideas. Hopefully. Well, they can't see the coral until they open up the door. I hear a combo lock. There are 3 big concentric circles on the door, each with Kuo-toa numbers on it. Only the right sequence of numbers will open the door. Okay. How will they get the numbers? A quiz on which fish should be dead and which should be living, since it's a freshwater lake. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. The door only opens if you find all the freshwater fish. Ah. A little box like with the ball inside, okay. Dun 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 dun. Use the pets and base the puzzle off one of them. Have it be a question that ties to one of those pets. The pet needs to be used as a key in the pedestal top. Huh. So I think I like the idea of the puzzle being associated with one of the pets. So we had these pets in this cage. So the puzzle could have to do with these pets. What if like, okay, check this out. Check this out. I have an idea. What if we have? Give me a second. I'm gonna open up a Photoshop so I can draw something. Give me. I have an idea. I just gotta open this thing up so I can actually draw something. Okay, make a new thing. Yep, that's fine. Just create it. Come on, let's go. Give me a paintbrush. Okay, so let's pretend that we have 3 circle wheels, okay? There are 3 circle wheels. And let's say that there are a bunch of different pictures of different types of animals along these circle wheels. And wait, I got a better idea. There could be like 5 different circle wheels with different sorts of animals on them. Okay? And the way to open up the puzzle is, if you notice this, there were 5 different types of animals here. A catfish, a seahorse, a hermit crab, an urchin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, and a clownfish. The way to open up the puzzle chamber is you have to turn these wheels until those 5 pets are at the top. That is the way to open up the door. Okay? Well, how's that sound? That's kind of based on some of the ideas there. So the answer is like in that cage. Those are the animals that you got to put at the top so that the door opens. There you go. I think that would work. Let's just do that. Okay, so I need you to brainstorm different types of animals that we can put in this wheel. I think there should be about... We already have 5. Each wheel will be the same. Each wheel will be the same. So let's come up with 5 other types of fish or sea creatures that we can also put on the puzzle wheel. So I need to brainstorm some ideas. And then let's start talking about. Let's put this thing here. Okay. Door. On the door to the treasure vault, there are 5 large wheels that can be spun about. Along the perimeter of each wheel is the following creatures. Jellyfish, catfish, octopus, let's see, what else we got? A turtle, an urchin, a goldfish, a seahorse. What else we got? Blobfish? What's a blobfish? Is that a thing? Is a blobfish a thing? A tuna. A shark. Woo. A gnome? A gnome is not a type of fish. We have a jellyfish, a catfish, an octopus, a turtle. Where is our clownfish? And a hermit crab. So we have to have a catfish, a seahorse, a hermit crab. A catfish, a seahorse, and a hermit crab. We got those. And then we need to have an urchin and a clownfish. Do we have those? Urchin and a clownfish. Got them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we got 10 things. Okay, awesome. So on the door to the treasure vault, there are 5 large wheels that can be spun about. Along the perimeter of each wheel are the following creatures, and then we list all the creatures. In order to open the door, the wheels must be spun so that all 5 of the creatures contained in the cage in area K12 are at the top of the wheels. When this is done, the door opens freely. There we go. I think that's it. You guys are still like brainstorming creatures. I think we're done with that. Blobfish. Okay, Google blobfish and you won't regret it. Okay. Blobfish. Oh, that. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? This thing is crazy. Blah. Wow, I regretted it. That's crazy, man. Okay, hold on. We'll make one of these a blobfish. So instead of a goldfish, we're gonna make it a blobfish. That thing's nasty looking, man. Yeah, an aboleth plushie. We need those, man. And then we're gonna say this is a crazy thick stone door that cannot be broken down by force. Crazy thick magical stone door. They have to solve the puzzle, dang it. You're not just breaking the door down. Door puzzle. There we go. All right, cool. I think we have are we done? I think we're done, guys. We're done. I think we're done. We're done. And we'll say we'll just leave that there. Woo! I think we finished it. When in doubt, fireball. Oh yeah. Yeah, they're not breaking that door down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we just finished this adventure. I feel like we have made a great accomplishment here. This was like 6 streams in the making to get this adventure done. That's amazing. I love that crap. Okay, so yeah, this is done. That's a thing. So before we end tonight, though, let's figure out let's get some ideas of what we're gonna do in our next live stream. So like, in most of my live streams, I like to create things. I don't like to just, I mean, we'll do the question and answer, but I also like to create stuff together. But we did an adventure, and this took us a long time to get this done. So I want to do something smaller. So like, what are some other things that we could create together? Like magic items, NPCs, and stuff like that. I don't know. I had some other ideas too. But we could do something cool. I think the next time we create something, we're gonna create some stuff together that is like doesn't take us like forever to create. We're gonna make some like bite-sized stuff. We're not gonna create a character together. I want to create stuff that dungeon masters can use. You know, spells, a big bad, a murder mystery. We're gonna take a break from full-blown adventures. I want to do shorter stuff. We're not making a game setting. We're not going to create a world together. I don't create game worlds. That's not my thing. I use pre-made game worlds. NPCs. I agree. Useful NPCs are a great idea. Those could always be useful. Magic items are fun. Cool spells might be fun. Like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let me add that. Hold on a second. I have like a place where I keep track of ideas for like live streams, and I don't think I have spells written down yet. Where's my live stream idea? Live stream ideas. Here we go. Because trap building I have in there. Magic item creation. Spell creation. We're going to add that. Spell creation. That's a cool idea. Okay, I like that. I've added that into the list. Building a house. Okay, factions. Okay, a brand new creature. Yeah, I don't know. Building monsters and creatures is kind of tough. Like yeah. I guess if we don't have to create the challenge rating, if we don't have to do the math of creating the challenge rating, it's not that big of a deal. Balanced items, yeah, creating like magical items and stuff that are balanced. Creating a tavern that isn't boring. Oh, that's interesting. A homebrew race. A town. It's interesting. Encounters or traps. Yep, those are cool. Okay. Those are some cool ideas. A time machine. Controlling your cats. All right, so those are cool ideas. Let's see when our next live stream is going to be. Let's see when I have it on the calendar. I think I have it for next week on Friday or something. Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be. Oh, nice. Yeah, I think it's going to be next Friday on next Friday. Like 6 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. It'll be like the same type of thing. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Check this out, you guys. Look at that. Look at that Squirty Pie. She was just sleeping, like her feet up in the air. That's awesome. All right. I think we're done. I think we're done for tonight, guys. I think that's it. We finished our thing. So we will see you then. This has been fun, guys. I'm glad we finished that. Remember, it will be available for download for you all as well once I get it uploaded and stuff. So yeah, that's it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been fun. We'll see you next time. We're all like sad and teary-eyed. Oh wait, is anybody else? Wait, hold on. Let's see. Is there anybody else streaming right now? Are there any other YouTubers that we can go raid? Is anybody on that we can raid? Hold on. I'm gonna see if anybody's on, because we might go raid someone. Are there any other YouTubers that are on, like D&D people? D&D, because we might go raid someone. I don't see anybody. I don't see anybody right now that's on. Nope. I don't see anybody. No, there's nobody on right now. Because sometimes the great DM or the great GM guy is doing live streams on Sundays. Sometimes Matt Colville does live streams. but I don't see anybody on right now, so there's nobody for us to go raid. Who's live? Is anybody live? Yeah, I don't think I see anybody. So, yeah, you can do a raid on YouTube. We just all basically go over to that person's channel. So, yeah. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to go home. I am home. I'm going to go home. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. This has been fun. And until next time, let's play D&D. That's my sign off. I'm really tired right now. I'm going to go get some sleep. Where's the stop button? Where's the stop button? End stream.